According to reports, Liverpool have the money for Darwin Núñez, and some reports are even coming out that this could be a £200 million transfer. Other sources are saying that Liverpool are prepared to put £120 million on the table, with a deal rising to over £150 million, pushing closer to £170 million for Alexander Isak. We're going to talk about how they're going to raise the funds. We're going to talk about what the team could look like next season. But let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you have smashed the granny out of that subscribe button. We're steamrolling our way towards 60,000 subscribers. We've just hit 58,000. So big up to every single one of you. If you haven't already, please go down, smash the subscribe button, let me know your thoughts on every single topic we discuss. It really would be greatly appreciated. I want to say a massive thank you to today's sponsors, Caddy Comps. There will be a link in the description. They are the UK's biggest golf competition website. You can buy a raffle ticket for as little as 79 pence. They've got golf clubs, they've got Range Rovers, they've got golf equipment, they've got absolutely everything on their website. They've already given over £8 million worth of prizes to 10,000 lucky winners. But before we get into the video, we're going to hear from former Premier League footballer Jimmy Bullard, who's going to tell you some more.
You didn't know my nickname was the Beaver, did you? There's nothing worse than playing with a driver you've just won and you keep the sticker on. Take the stickers off. Win all the latest golf equipment here at Caddy Comps every night for as little as 79p. That was levered, that was.
As little as 79p, that isn't even the price of a Dairy Milk bar in some shops right now. So get yourself down to Caddy Comps, check out their website, and you may win some prizes. Now, I want to talk about Fabrizio Romano's Liverpool update. Now, he said yesterday, or in the last 24 hours, that understand Napoli and Liverpool will have direct contacts today to discuss the conditions of Darwin Núñez deal. Negotiations still at early stages, but Napoli have given the green light for Nunez, as revealed in recent days, and a deal depends on financial requests now. Now, according to other sources, Darwin Núñez is open to the move to Italy. He wants to stay in Europe, and he very much would like to move to Napoli. After all, they have just won the Serie A. They have, of course, got a very good manager in Antonio Conte, who predominantly isn't a long-term manager, but, I do think he, however, could do quite well. They won the league by 1 point. They only scored 59 goals, which isn't actually that high. Could Darwin Núñez help that attack? Well, we saw Scott McTominay get Player of the Year over there. If you look at, compared to, Atalanta and Inter, who both scored nearly 20 more goals, they're outscored by Lazio, Milan, Fiorentina, nearly outscored by Juventus and Bologna. They do probably need to bring in another forward who can really elevate and get them over the line. Now, I want to talk about Liverpool in terms of their outgoings and how they, according to reports, we're getting to the Alexander Isak news, how they can potentially raise £200 million, which is absolutely ridiculous considering they have already spent about £160 million. Now, in terms of the current season's transfers, so they've, of course, paid 30 million euros now for Georgi Mamardashvili, who, of course, will be announced probably as a Liverpool player very, very soon. In terms of, what they've done for this season already in outgoings, well, they've already raised about £10 million for Trent Alexander-Arnold, £20 million for Kelleher, £40 million with add-ons for Jarell Quansah. So that's roughly £70 million. They're roughly going to get about £50 million for Darwin Núñez if he does join Napoli. Harvey Elliott is another one who's heavily linked to a move to Brighton. That deal is in the region of £40 million. And I think that would be a brilliant, brilliant move for Harvey Elliott. Brighton play a good brand of football, and I think he will do really, really well there. According to, I think it was it the Standard or the Time Sport that basically come out and said that Brighton are confident of striking a deal and meeting Liverpool's £40 million price tag. So if you put together 40 million for Elliott, 50 million for Nunez, that's 90 million, plus the 40 million for Kwanzaa, that's 130 million pounds. 20 odd million for Kelleher, 10 million for Trent. They're also, they're expected to sell as well Federico Chiesa. There's been reports that he could leave for about 25 million pounds. So now you're roughly at 150 million, which is essentially what they've paid for Florian Wirtz and what they've paid for Frimpong. They've paid about 116 million and then about 35 or 30 million for Frimpong. Kirkes should be announced probably in the next day or so for Liverpool. But there are reports out there that they could raise the money still for Alexander Isak. Now, Newcastle are prepared to present a contract to him for £150,000. I personally don't think that's going to be enough. I'm going to stay, I've stayed very, very consistent. I don't think he will be joining Liverpool this summer. I think Newcastle hold all the cards. The fact that they've just won silverware, they can offer him Champions League football. They are prepared to put him on a new contract for £150,000 a week. Liverpool, I think, would put him on maybe £200,000 a week. According to Dave, OCKOP, who's a Liverpool ITK, he said that Liverpool have the funds to test Newcastle's resolve for Alexander Isak, despite the acquisition of Florian Wirtz for a British record fee that could rise to 116 million and a summer spend that has already reached 200 million pounds. Newcastle are concerned an offer could be early next month for Isak, who scored 62 goals in 3 seasons since arriving for 63 million pounds from Real Sociedad. Now, when you actually look at what they've sold in terms of the players they've actually, got rid of, well, Kelleher was come through their academy, so he will count as, a 100% profitable sale. The 10 million pounds they've got for Trent from Real Madrid for letting him go early will count as a 100% profitable sale. Harvey Elliott as well. Jarrell Quansah. These are all homegrown talents that will count as 100% profit, which will keep their PSR and FFP relatively low. They've also just sold Nat Phillips to West Brom for about £4 million. Stefan Bezetic, the 20-year-old Spanish midfielder, could also potentially be leaving. I think Liverpool are actually going to have the money to go out there and put down a £120 million or, a deal that's going to rise to potentially, maybe £150 million. According to the Sport, according to the Sunday Sport, this is coming out from the Times and the Sunday Times. Liverpool have the funds now. They've got the funds to go out and buy Alexander Isak. Now, having the funds and actually doing it is two different things, of course. Alexander Isak, despite this spending summer, Newcastle concerned offer could be made early next month. Now, if you look at Alexander Isak, I think he's one of the best number 9s out there. I think he's absolutely fantastic. And I tell you what else is fantastic. Caddy comps, guys. Get down there. You can win some prizes for as little as 79 pence. Honestly, it's so cheap. Get down there. Let me know your thoughts. £8 million worth of prizes have already been given out to 10,000 lucky winners. In terms of Liverpool, though, they have the funds, according to reports. If you put down 120, 130 million pounds and you give Alexander Isak, say, £220,000 a week, and you can guarantee 120 million pounds with add-ons reaching all the way up to potentially looking at 150, 160, 170, maybe 200 million pounds. Newcastle are going to be in a position where they're like, how much more money can we guarantee for Alexander Isak? Now, of course, he's got 3 years left in his contract. And like I said, Newcastle United hold all the cards. They hold all the cards. They're in the position of power. They're in a position of strength. They don't need to sell Alexander Isak. What I think would make this deal even more interesting is if Alexander Isak was willing to push for a move. Now, coming out on the 16th of June, Fabrizio Romano said that Alexander Isak has been Liverpool's dream target since day one, but it remains complicated. And that is coming out from Fabrizio Romano. So if it is, excuse me, if it is going to happen, it's probably going to happen at some point next month. I do personally believe, though, he will still be a Newcastle United player. But Liverpool are in there. I've got all the keys, like the keys here in terms of they've got the money. Who else right now, logistically, can afford to put 120, 130 million pounds on the table with a deal rising up to potentially, 200 million pounds? Now, the Mirror of Football have put out saying Newcastle plan to offer Alexander Isak a new contract, but Liverpool may have a crucial advantage. Now, this contract is set to be worth around £150,000 a week. I do think Liverpool will comfortably improve that deal, and I don't think anyone would blame him at all for joining Newcastle United. After all, they are, for joining Liverpool. After all, they are one of the biggest and best football clubs in the world. They have just won the Premier League. They are going to be competing on all fronts. I don't think it'd be, a stupid deal for Isak to do. But go down below, guys. Check out Caddy Comps. Let me know your thoughts on them. They have over 100 competitions per week given away. They've already given away £8 million of a prize, 10,000 lucky winners. You can enter for as little as 79 pence. Click on the link down below and check them out. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts. I'm out.